important time?
I think that this is extremely significant. I think that
listen, I think we can hear the cheers. Can we hear the cheers? Together, as I think perhaps the king would have wished, coming in to look at these tributes. And
so Meghan looks really freaked, and I have one of two questions. One is she freaked because she's worried that something's going to happen to her in terms of security, quote unquote? Comment below. Actually, don't comment because she's very controversial and I don't need all that strife.
Cameron, our royal correspondent, with us as well. Did you hear those cheers?
I did. These are extraordinary images. I can't remember the last time we saw all four of these young royals together in the same place.
I don't know about you, but if you watch this in real time, it was awkward. She kept playing with her hair. She kept side-eyeing Kate. It was cringe.
Clearly, I believe it was way before that
Look at her.
infamous interview with Oprah Winfrey, but I think this shows that this is perhaps a time for family healing, at the time of great sorrow for the Windsor family as they lose their head, Her Majesty the Queen. It's a time for reconciliation.
I think that is wishful thinking, and I don't think that it's going to repair anything. They seem to be very upset with her, and she is looking like she can feel it.
We were told the two brothers were barely on speaking terms at one point, and one wonders what would have been going through the king's mind. I mean, he spoke, of course, in his address on television about his love for Harry and Meghan, and how the rest of the family, of course, had...
But Kate looks like a Barbie doll. She's beautiful.
Been grateful for the sympathy shown. This is a very clear message to the world.
It sends a clear message that they are very much, despite what the papers have perhaps been briefed, or those headlines
outside
of Team Sussex versus Team Cambridge, as Twitter and social media has so loved to do.
She must be highly embarrassed, to say the least, after everything that she's done. But at the same time, she's such a narcissist, I believe, that it's hard to say whether she's even sorry.
Over the past year and a half or so, this shows that at the end of the day, this is one family.
Meghan taking Harry's hand there, because I mean we saw at Balmoral he was actually arriving a little late, was not able to, as other members of the royal family, be with Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth when she passed away. And then he left very early the next day.
That's our understanding, yes, and he did. I saw him leave Balmoral Castle, the Duke of Sussex, at must have been about 8:15 or something. He drove through the main gate. But you're right, yes, these are kind of four people we haven't seen together for such long.
Kate exudes confidence while Meghan seems awkward and almost like she's acting.
Long time, but I think it is interesting they haven't, as far as I can tell from these images, they haven't spoken to each other, as in the Duke and Duchess.
Is it just me, or are her ankles extremely small, like lacking muscle? Like there's no muscle tone there.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex and the Prince and Princess of Wales don't seem to be talking to each other. If you look at the images here, they're very much...
Well, they are pointing out to here, and
I almost feel like she's holding on to Harry for dear life because she literally can't stand up by herself. And I know this could be a sign of mourning, but I don't think she's got it in her. I mean, let's face it, she snubbed visiting the Queen in her last days. That says a lot about anyone, okay?
I think they walked from the car together, certainly when they left the Range Rover there before they came through the gates. But yes, I mean, obviously they are two couples together there. But we did have this statement from the Prince of Wales indicating about how important Granny or grandmother, the Queen, had been to them in their happiest times and indeed their saddest times, because of course both William and Harry at Balmoral at the time of their mother's passing.
Yes, yes, he was, and then of course the Duke of Cambridge, as he was known, is now the Prince of Wales, and
Princess of Wales, as Kate is now.
Princess of Wales, as Kate is now, taking on her late mother-in-law's role. But as the palace source told me yesterday, the Princess of Wales, forgive me, wants to very much carve out her own role with that title, that she is very much aware of it.
I feel like Kate got her hair highlighted. It looks a lot lighter.
History associated with it. I mean, these are extraordinary and very significant images. I don't think anyone could quite expect this.
Because we were just asking.
So it's been reported that William only asked Prince Harry and Meghan to join him 1 hour prior to coming outside of Windsor Castle. That's very telling. I mean, right?
Just a few minutes ago, whether we thought that Harry would be part of the Prince's vigil with the Queen's coffin in Westminster Hall. I think perhaps we've got our answer now, haven't we?
Well, I think perhaps it's definitely more likely by looking at these pictures. It was only at the weekend that the papers were reporting that Prince William distrusted his brother
because of this book,
which is...
Notice how she moves Harry out of the way because the cameras are on her right and she needs to be... You could see her like side-eyeing the cameras. Just pay attention.
About to be published, Prince Harry's reportedly kind of tell-all autobiography, as it were, his memoirs.
Meghan with a hand there on her husband's elbow.
There you are.